Hello and good morning. Now, on Wednesdays, we kind of put on our pink wigs with a dash and sprinkle of savagery and a slice of yum yum. It's another edition of our Wonder Woman Wednesday. Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
This is the day most of us say to ourselves, keep going. You're almost halfway to the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a woo-woo Wednesday, and today is definitely going to be a good day.
We're on a roll here today, and we've been given that license to thrill with our smiles. Let your smile change the world. And speaking of smiles that change the world, look at MM's smile today.
Hi, Chineke.
Oh, wow, we've missed you, MM.
I know. You have more than a dash of pink.
My darling, I know you all have missed me because I am that dash of sunshine.
Ah, she has started.
Yes, I have. And I'm
with
that.
a diva hairstyle. Everything diva. But don't worry, we love you that way. We miss you so much. It's great to have you back.
I missed you all very much as well. Fingers crossed on that one. But hey, it's so good to see you all, and it's so good to be on the show.
Yeah, it's so good to have you back. We can't wait for you to literally cook for us.
Yeah, with a smile like that, it'll be a shame if you don't stay right there in front of your TV. This is the most exciting breakfast show on TV right now. So that's our advice. Join in and we promise that you won't regret a single moment.
Now, as usual, we have well-curated 1 hour 45 of the very best in family entertainment. We will be holding nothing back, nothing. So brace yourselves. Get ready. Are you ready?
All right, so it's time for you to sit back and enjoy. My name is Titilayo Oyinbo.
And my name is Mary Bashua Alimi.
Remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the show. We love those contributions, by the way. Some people contribute on our outfits, what we're talking about, what we're cooking today. Hey, you can always watch us live also from absolutely anywhere across the world.
You know, talking about outfits, the pink thing with MM and I was a huge coincidence, but we'll talk more about that much later. Instead, we also implore you to follow us across all social media. We're talking Instagram and we're also talking Facebook.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, please.
We really love to know you watch us, but we also would like you to just click that subscribe button. Okay?
Yeah, let's take advantage of social media while we still have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not say yes. It was.
Hey, you know.
Let's just check out what we have
Sandra
for you on the show
Odufademi
today.
is a marriage counselor, a relationship expert. Now, she's going to be joining us to give her thoughts on the daughter-in-law, mother-in-law dynamics. And that's a conversation a lot of people try to avoid, if I do say so myself.
Now, Ineka Ogboyi is a baby food entrepreneur, an investment manager, and a mother. As a working mom, Ineka holds a business degree from the University of Stanford. Now, today, she will be discussing going back to basics, eating a healthy diet with less processed and junk foods. That one, I'm sure many parents have their ears peeled for it. How do I wake up with that? Blood of Jesus! That's the first thing you scream. Who are you people? That's the problem in listening to too many of certain songs.
Don't play TT on us this morning.
As in,
MM is back. Yeah, now we heard that you had quite an ordeal, you know.
Yes,
and
I
it's something
did.
we parents have gone through once or twice.
Yes, I did. Trust me, I went into panic mode.
can imagine.
Like, at some point, okay, when I was waiting for them to take her to Elsie, that is, to the ward, I just became so emotional. I couldn't hide anybody. I just started crying.
Oh,
like, and she looked at me, and she was like, she was wondering what was going on. And I tried so hard to be strong for her because, I mean, she was, you know, all lively and all of that. Anyways, she's fine now. I'm happy that we're fine. She's fine. We're all fine. And, yes,
something
You're looking too fine.
Yeah,
You're not just fine.
no,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I've been,
what?
been.
But it's something that, you know, when you're a brand new parent, like you never see those kind of things coming. And I can remember when one of the twins, I think she was about 3 months old then, had this really bad cough. And that kind of cough the cough went through her whole body.
Oh my God, racking.
Like, and I felt like I was, you know, I had done something wrong. Like, you know, I was trying to find solutions. I was going onto the internet. I was, you know, I was just trying to
yes, and that's another thing that happened to me. I started researching.
Hey.
I started doing research.
But you know sometimes the internet adds more to your pain.
I know,
because it gives you answers that you probably don't even want to hear about.
It does.
It's been very fortunate for me.
Trust me, it actually does more harm than good. It does.
Okay, so we need to take this. We'll take the weather now, and of course we'll bring you the news updates right after. Stay with us.
It's time for a news update right here on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Daughterinlaw, and we're staying with the face-off between federal government and Twitter, where the back and forth between both parties is momentarily cooling off. This is because weeks after President Buhari's tweet was taken down and the suspension of the microblogging site by government, President Muhammadu Buhari has now approved the composition of the federal government team to engage with Twitter. This approval was announced in a statement in Abuja yesterday by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who is also expected to chair the team. The federal government's team also comprises of the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Works and Housing, Minister of State for Labor and Employment, as well as other relevant government agencies. Following the indefinite suspension of its operations in Nigeria for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence, Twitter wrote to President Buhari seeking to engage with the federal government over the suspension, with a view to charting a path forward. At the moment, there is no specific date fixed for the proposed meeting. And as the federal government and Twitter are finding a common ground over the ban of the microblogging site in Nigeria, the ECOWAS Court of Justice in Abuja has restrained the Nigerian government from unlawfully imposing sanctions or harassing, intimidating, arresting or prosecuting Twitter and any other social media service providers, media houses, radio and television broadcast stations, the plaintiffs and other Nigerians who are Twitter users, pending the hearing and determination of the suit. The ruling followed a suit filed against the federal government by Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and 176 concerned Nigerians, arguing that the unlawful suspension of Twitter in Nigeria, criminalization of Nigerians and other people using Twitter have escalated repression of human rights and unlawfully restricted the rights of Nigerians and other people of freedom of expression and access to information. The court gave the order after hearing the arguments from solicitor to SERAP, Femi Falana, and lawyer to government Maimuna Shiru. The substantive suit has been adjourned till 6th of July 2021. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGE, says the media industry is not a political opponent or enemy of the federal government. They say the political elite's attacks on media are habitually and not envisioned to win an argument on journalistic values, designed to bully media organizations. Reacting to what it described as draconian provisions in the two bills to amend the Nigerian Press Council (NPC) Act and the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission (NBC) Act that are currently before the National Assembly, which the sponsors said were aimed at moderating the recklessness of the media. The Guild said that the bills are actually meant to criminalize journalism practice in the country. In a statement issued by the umbrella of all editors in Nigeria and signed by the President Mustafa Isa, the General Secretary on Tuesday, said that the oxygen of democracy, the media, will be strangulated if bills are not passed in their present forms. The NGE said, quote, "While we are not opposed to an act that will promote media stakeholders-driven regulatory council, the many draconian provisions in the Honorable Odeboyin Olusegun-sponsored bills are actually aimed at criminalizing media practice in Nigeria. While the intention of the sponsor of the bills is suspicious, the bills negate all known features of media regulatory bodies in the world." Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, it's that time of the show where we review the
news making the headlines on the papers this morning. And of course, we're starting with the Guardian newspaper. Making the headline on the Guardian newspaper is Twitter's operation illegal despite ECOWAS court ruling, federal government insists. And at the bottom of the paper here we have, again, court orders federal governments to pay Rivers Akwa Ibom $3.3 billion oil revenue. And at the bottom of the paper here we have Farouk Lawan jailed 19 years for $500,000 bribe. And you can find that on page 3 of the papers. Also here we have President seeks approval for 895 billion naira supplementary budgets. And also here we have governors too small to decide for Ndigbo on Biafra. And finally here on the paper we have 2 die as fuel tanker explodes on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And that's on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. Next up, let's look at the Punch newspaper this morning. Making the headlines on the front page is Federal Government Disobeys Own Law, Flouts Workers' Pension Remittance. And here at the top of the paper, we have mushroom can generate 16 million jobs, 1.8 trillion naira revenue, says growers. And also here we have ex-rep Lawan jailed 7 years over Otedola's $500,000 bribe. And also on top of the paper here, Buhari, not born again Democrats, wants to return decree for through Lai Mohammed, says media chief. And at the bottom of the paper we have pay Rivers Akwa Ibom $3 billion from recovered $62 billion court tells federal government. And here we have 9 killed, 13 vehicles burnt in Ogun tanker explosion, Ekiti crash. And finally on the Punch newspaper here we have female doctor, ex-soldier arrested for selling drugged cookies, cocaine orders. That story you can find on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And that's it on the newspaper headlines. There's still so much more. Next up is coffee. Just stay with us.
Welcome back. Wake Up Nigeria is always amazing on Wednesdays, especially because the women take over. But we've also been joined in the kitchen by some guests.
Yes, we have the organizing team by
from Make
Music Lagos. Yeah. Here with us we have Susan and Femi. Yes, we have Femi joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. So this is the 6th edition of Make Music Lagos. Yeah. We've been hearing a lot of buzz about it all over
social media,
and we know that some day recently was World Music Day, right?
Yes.
And that was when we started hearing a lot of the buzz. So you need to let us in on what's happening. What sort of activities do you have planned for Make Music Lagos?
Okay, so Make Music Lagos is, of course, celebration of World Music Day, and we have a lineup of activities during the week. We started with live from home concerts, where artists got to perform, from home. We also had physical concerts at some locations as well. Yesterday we had the Learn to Play event. And Learn to DJ, that's where anyone can actually learn how to play an instrument. Today, Learn to Play continues. Then we'll have Learn to DJ, where you can actually learn how to DJ if you're interested. And then on Thursday, that's tomorrow, we have the Music Business Conference, where thought leaders talk about the business behind the music industry. On Friday, we have the Pop-Up Worship, which is the concerts for contemporary gospel music. And then on Saturday, we have the shutdown events, the finale concerts.
You actually have music for everyone, like, that caters to different audiences, which is really nice. So last year, you did this virtually.
Yes, we did.
Is that happening again this year?
Well, this year we're having a mix of virtual events and, physical events.
Okay.
Yeah, so given our experience from last year, we thought that a combination of both will be more effective. There are those who want to have experiences from home and those who would like to actually go out and, have physical experiences.
Tell us about the experience last year.
Well, last year was, surprisingly, the turnout was probably our largest.
Really?
Wow. Inception, because before now, the live stream was always like a side dish to the main event, but now, you know, there was all-out focus on getting the experience to work out very well. The artists were more conscious that they were going to be virtual, and a lot of people turned up. There was a lot of buzz, and we also got to live stream, you know, debut the live stream a few times, so people had multiple opportunities to get to see it.
Fantastic. You know what, but before we continue, I know we've served our Kellogg's, but we have to offer you some
Yes,
as well.
of course.
Fantastic.
We have the world's number one cereal here for you.
So
and,
which would you prefer, Cocoa Pops or cornflakes?
I prefer Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Pops?
Fantastic.
All right.
Great.
My kids'
So
favorite.
please help yourself.
Please grab a bag and pop it open.
All
so
right.
I would love to know about your themes over the years, because things must have really evolved. First of all, there was a time when people didn't really see music as a business, you know. So let's talk about the theme for this year. Yeah.
Okay, so for the Music Business Conference, of course, that's where we have the major theme for the year, and the theme is the structure of the future.
Okay.
So we know we've been, in terms of the music industry, COVID has changed, you know, a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of artists are not making as much from, you know, performances like they used to. So we're asking ourselves, what's the future? And how else can we, you know, even in terms of women inclusion as well, because we don't have a lot of female artists. Yeah, so there's a lot of that conversation this year about what that structure is, what's the future of the music industry.
Sure.
Okay, now talking about the array of events that you have lined up, what impact do you, what's the main goal or an impact for your events all through? What impact do you want to make in the music industry, you know, with, you know,
Make Music
your
Lagos.
events? Yes.
First of all, for us, we're advocating for the celebration of World Music Day. First things first. And the next is to provide a platform for upcoming, you know, artists as well, because we have a lot of talented artists in Nigeria. They just need an opportunity to be seen, to be heard. A lot of artists also cannot afford to produce, you know, properly. So just giving everyone the necessary support when it comes to, you know, music, whether it's promotion of music or the business behind it, you know, and just that really.
Okay, so now everyone has noted that music and how it's distributed, it has evolved. There was a time, because I was on radio for a long time, there was a time, you know, you had to have 10 CDs, you know, submitted to each radio station, but things have changed now. The way people listen to music now is different. And I'm not sure if you've addressed those issues before, but how have you been able to help educate people just coming in on how to work in the music industry?
Well, for a start, beyond giving people a platform for them to be able to sing, behind the scenes, we also help them get better educated about what the industry is like.
Okay.
We also try to connect them with people that could mentor and help them. This year, we have a distribution company that is partnering with us, who would also be helping some of the select artists on the event, which is Tunko, and it's going to be really fantastic. We look forward to it. Beyond just helping a select few, they will also be helping people to understand what distribution of music is like right now, which is something that they really need.
And licensing as well.
Yeah, because
licensing.
Oh yeah, you mentioned something. I remember you talked about upcoming artists who also, which you're also providing the platforms for them. Are you also going to enlighten and educate them on the music business?
Yes. So we're definitely, you know, doing that. We have a couple of industry leaders who are going to be speaking.
Okay, give us some of the names.
Some of the names: Godwin Tom.
Okay.
We have Rima from Mavin.
Okay.
We have Khadija. She's founder of Slice Media. We also have Eddie Lawani, who's a music promoter. We have, you know, I think someone from MTN. I think digital.
Okay.
And then we also have, you know, Tunko as well that would be at the event. So. Yeah, we have a lot of knowledge to give out.
We talk about streaming all the time now, and all the streams.
Like that's the future.
Every social media page now is all about the music streams, and that wasn't a thing 5-10 years ago. Well, it wasn't as big as it is now. And I have a feeling there's a lot that people can learn, especially if you're just popping into the music industry all afresh. You need to, you know, get up to date with the new trends and make Music Lagos is here to make sure that happens. I know there's a lot of activities today. The social media handle is
At Make Music Lagos.
at Make Music Lagos. All the timetables, schedules, everything is right there.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Femi and Susan.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.
A big shout out to Kellogg's for giving us breakfast, and we're going to be, chewing on this while you take that break.
All right, welcome back, people. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria, people. And guess what? We're in the kitchen with Chef Blossom. I love to sing your name. I hope you like it.
Yes, I do, of course.
And this morning, guys, she is making chicken and chips. Ha! Taking us on a journey. You don't know what chicken and chips does to me. I'm not going to let you know yet. But hey, let's talk about the ingredients we'll be working with this morning.
Okay, so we have our Irish potatoes shredded already. And we have it spiced with some salt and a bit of seasoning cubes.
To give it a bit of flavor.
Yeah, flavor. So we have our sausage to go on the side. We're going to stir fry it. Then we have our chicken marinated already. Then we have
I'd like to know what you used in marinating the chicken.
Paprika, seasoning cubes, and then Cameroon pepper. That's a black pepper.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have our vegetable oil for deep fry.
Okay.
So we have our flour. This is for the chicken.
Okay.
We're going to
Wrap the
it,
flour
yes,
in the
flour
chicken.
Okay. So we have our egg, so egg wash as well, the chicken. So we have our salt, we have our black pepper and paprika, and then garlic.
Okay.
Then that's about it.
All right. It looks like a very easy, and it's actually very easy, to be honest. So you just fry up your potatoes and your chicken. You really don't have to wrap it in flour. It depends. If you like,
want to wrap in oatmeal, you could.
Oatmeal.
Yes, that's what I like to use.
That is also quite a healthy option.
Yes, you blend it.
It is.
You blend it.
You blend the oatmeal.
Yes.
And then after marinating your chicken, you wrap it in your oatmeal.
Yes, some persons don't even marinate their chicken for this chips, for this recipe. They don't really marinate. And I like to do mine like this because I like the chicken to have taste inside. So if you notice, sometimes you have this chicken, you just bite open and the inside will be just white.
True.
So that's why I have it marinated for like, let's say 9 hours. It was
you did this overnight.
Overnight, yes.
Oh, nice. And to also get your chicken to have all of those flavors in, after marinating with your seasonings, what you can do is add a little bit of lemon or vinegar.
Yes.
Woo! Girl, man, boy.
You're giving them so much clue.
I know. That's why this show is here for you. It is to help you make your kitchen experience, cooking experience better. Anyways, let's get cooking.
Okay, so we'll start by heating up our pan.
So just in case you're watching and you don't know how to fry potatoes, it's a very easy process. Yes. It's not difficult at all. All you just need to do is you peel off your Irish potatoes and then chop them up. So you could either chop it or you could slice them after you've washed them. All right, yes. And then there's this hack for getting your potatoes to be dry after frying them.
Okay, what's that?
I'm going to figure that hack out. I know someone has told me before, but I have actually forgotten. Anyways, in the kitchen with me this morning is Chef Blossom, and we are making chicken and chips. And we are about to begin this recipe pretty soon. But hey, we're not letting you out of this. You're joining us in a bit, but still don't go anywhere. We have Titi with Zion on the couch. Hey, guys.
Yeah, I have a cutie pie on the couch with me this morning. His name is Zion Foster. Now, he's an English singer of Nigerian descent. While he's always been familiar with his Nigerian background through regular visits home and, of course, family functions, he strongly identifies with his Nigerian roots. You have a Nigerian mother, I believe, yes?
Yes.
And, of course, you have strong affiliations with the church as well. We're going to talk a bit about that. Welcome to the show, Zion.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
First of all, amazing name. I love the name, Zion. Beautiful name.
Thank you.
And I noted that you just put out a song with Zlatan.
Yes.
That must have been like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How did that happen? Talk to me.
We met up in London. He came to London, and we met through someone called Kobagidi.
Okay.
And he introduced us, and the vibe, the connection was just solid from the start. And we just got in the studio.
All right.
And yeah.
So I noted that you've been working with Bankuli, and that is mind-blowing. You need to talk to us a bit about how that relationship started.
Mr. Bankuli, I met him also in London.
Okay.
It's been about 4 years now.
Okay.
And he's someone who, he just saw what I was doing. I was young, and he just said, wow, you're so talented. You need to come back home.
Okay.
Because he knew that I was Nigerian, and he was close friends with one of my uncles. So since then, he's just been championing me and pushing me, and been by my side as a big uncle, just helping me.
I'm so glad you have great roots like that, and that gives me some kind of foresight that you're going to be going some crazy places with this music. But you need to talk to me about family and your background. I mentioned a bit about it. You know, you have a Nigerian mom, but you're based in the UK.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So my mom was born in Nigeria.
Okay.
She's born in Warri, Delta State. So yeah, I've been learning a few.
What have you learned? Tell me something.
Migwa.
Ah, wow. Okay. I'm not there yet, but you're a bit further along than me. But that means a lot to you. I can tell it means a lot to you to get back to your Nigerian roots.
Definitely. I'm just so proud of the journey of growing up in London. Being Nigerian over there a long time ago wasn't like the cool thing as a young boy growing up. So just to see the way our culture has developed and transcended globally, it just makes me so proud to be Nigerian.
Fantastic. We're happy to have you right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you.
And we see you going really, really far. But what do you see yourself doing in the near future? Who do you want to collabo with next?
So I've been working with Mobad.
Okay.
There may or may not be something in the pipeline with Rotimi.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I'm still here for another week, so I'm trying to keep mingling and
all right, then.
Seeing what comes.
So I would love to hear the song, but I also want to touch on the roots with the church. You want to touch on that?
Yeah. I started off, that's where my whole thing started. It was church-based. Obviously, my mom, I used to go with her every Sunday from when I was a baby. And I was always in love with the musical aspect of church. And it really shaped my sound and helped me find my voice and find my art. And I've just been building from there.
Did your parents ever have any issues with you going full-fledged into the music industry?
Yes.
So
major issues.
Tell me some stories. Come on.
So the turning point for me was when I was completing my A-levels, and it was time to go to university. And my mum said to me, you have to go to university. You can't do music unless you can prove to me that you can make music a career.
Okay.
So it was at that point where I literally just, I was on the craziest schedule.
Okay.
I was going to school from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then from 4 p.m. to midnight, I was in the studio, and I was on that rotation for months on months. And thank God, I found my way. So. Speaking
of finding your way, where were you during the pandemic? During the lockdown?
I was in London in my bedroom.
So what was happening there? You just had to, shut down and stay in London. Did you ever, have any issues?
Luckily for me, I record all of my own music at home.
Oh, okay.
So I was just recording the whole, all the way through.
So we have to ask you again about this song with Zlatan and what it's all about.
So the song's called Carry Me Going. It's just me just expressing to a woman, like, take me with you, like I want to be with you, like wherever you want to go, carry me along, let's enjoy life together.
Well, honestly, you're cute enough to carry along. You are. I think the ladies are going to have a great time with your music. And speaking of music, we can see your video playing right there.
Jeez.
Yeah. We're going to be having you perform soon enough.
Yes.
You need to stay right there, people. He's going to be performing in a short while. Big shout out. This is Zion Foster right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
It's time for us to have a conversation on nutrition. And to do justice to that is Nneka Ogboyi. She is the founder CEO of MASH Baby Food with a certificate in child nutrition and cooking from Stanford University. Today, she will be discussing going back to basics, eating a healthy diet with less processed and junk foods, as well as keeping fit. Without the junk. You tell us all about that. Great to have you in the studio, though.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Right. So I know one of the first things we talked about was this eating less junk and processed foods, but so many people were interested in it. So let's just touch on it before we move to what we're going to talk about today. So just quickly give us the basics.
Okay, so when we're talking about junk food, we're basically talking about those foods that are high in fats, high in sugar, high in salt, but very low in the micronutrients that are required for a proper functioning body. So that's essentially what junk food means. I know sometimes people think it's burger and soft drinks, but it's not only that. It's also your fruit juices that you feel are healthy. But they're just packed with sugar. Wow. It's also your things like your instant noodles that don't really give you any more micronutrients than the energy itself. So these are all the things that you need to pay attention to, the deep-fried foods, even the ones that we make at home. Those are all things that contribute to junk food. So when we talk about going back to basics, it's just generally going back to how our forefathers ate. You know, eating things that grow from the ground, things that come from nature, and eat the way that the body is intended to be fed.
So you're talking about less of juice, more fresh fruits, so you can consume the fiber as well.
Exactly, more whole foods.
More whole foods. That should be the focus, especially for children. Now that brings us to what we were going to talk about today, the fitness aspect. Tell us more about that.
Yes, so I'm very happy that you brought this one up, because when we talk about raising healthy children, the focus is usually on nutrition, but oftentimes we leave out the side where it relates to physical activity, and physical activity is just as important. It has a lot of benefits for kids and adults as well, but most notably is that it greatly reduces one's chances of contracting illnesses such as heart disease, stroke, certain cancers, type 2 diabetes. All of these things are the leading cause of death globally.
Even in children?
Even in children, exactly. 71% of death every year is caused by these things. And physical activity can reduce one's risk of getting those things. So children as well.
Okay, so how can children keep fit? Because some parents always wonder if some things are too much or too little. You have your children playing wildly in the compound and you're like, you guys should take it easy, oh. You want to kill me, you're always getting hurt. Which one is too much and which one is too little? How can we create that balance?
So it's natural for parents to worry, but it's also very natural for kids to play. Yeah. It's innate, they're born to play, actually. So we just have to find a balance. Just make sure that your environment is safe and allow the kids to play. If you put a child on this couch, your child will figure out what to do, how to entertain themselves, and how to get in that physical activity. So allow them explore their environment. Physical activity for children is definitely not the gym or, you know, going for exercise like adults do, but that is the way that they get their own form of exercise. So it's very important to allow them to do this. Fortunately, a lot of schools incorporate this in the curriculum, where the kids are active during the school day. But even at home, it's very important to allow them to do those things.
Okay. Now, even as we talk about all of this, what kind of exercises can we say are great for fitness purposes?
Okay, for children, because they love to play, and exercise should be fun, encourage what they love. So if they love to dance, once in a while, put on music for them and allow them to dance. If you're buying toys for them, buy things that encourage them to get active. So like a ball, for example. I know when we were kids, we used to make paper kites and fly those. We don't really see those anymore, but something as simple as a balloon, kids can have so much fun running around with that. Yes. So a bicycle, just things that encourage them to still have fun, but remain active. That's the best way to go for kids.
Okay, so bicycle,
football,
dancing, football.
Some kids enjoy swimming, so if they can do things like that as well, that's also a great
Two of the exercises we've mentioned, many parents like to limit their children, especially their female children. That's the cycling and football. You hear, oh, as a little girl, you should not play so much. You shouldn't ride a bike. You could get yourself really hurt, ruin your skin and all. So if I'm going to ask you, are there any specific games for specific gender, or every child can play any kind of game, climb trees, do a lot of the fun stuff until they're at a particular age?
Honestly,
so which would you say?
Just let kids be kids, seriously, because when we're talking about play, kids don't really care. A girl doesn't really care if this is a ball and if this is for boys. All she wants to do is run around with the ball. It's great. It's a great way for her to get her heart rate up. It's a great way for her to get exercising. She's having fun. That's what is important. Parents just need to step back a bit. I know the world is a crazy place now, so we care about so many things that we didn't care about when we were kids. But I climbed trees, I played with balls, I did all of those things, and I turned out to be still
without broken bones.
Exactly. So just don't worry about things like that. Just let kids have fun with it.
More like what will be, will be.
Yes, exactly.
However, we cannot deny the fact that there are some children who have physical limitations. While some children are, in quotes, healthy, so they can play just about anything, some children have physical limitations or even certain medical conditions that prevent them from being as active as they would like to. So in such cases, what would you recommend?
So in such cases, if you speak to your child's doctor or a professional that's managing your child's condition, there are usually modified things that your child can do. For example, if it involves, things that are too strenuous for the child can do something less strenuous. So maybe dancing at home, if that's something that the child is able to take part in. So it depends on what that limitation is, but for every limitation, there's a modification or a modified version that your child can enjoy and take part in. And also, the child doesn't feel left out, because if there are siblings or other kids that get to play and have fun, best believe that your child also wants to partake in that fun. So limiting them is doing them more of a disadvantage than an advantage.
So for parents in that kind of situation, what do you recommend? Because sometimes it might not be their fault. It could also be the doctor who has said, okay, you know what, the child can't do this, the child can't do that. For an only child, they can probably get away with it. But when the child, just as you said, has siblings, it becomes a lot more difficult. So how do you manage that?
So always speak to the professional, always speak to the doctor. If the doctor has told you cannot do this, there's no doctor that will tell you that physical activity for your child is bad. So just speak to them. So if my child cannot do this, what is it that my child can do? There are the professionals, based on your child's specific needs and situation, they can advise you what is safe and what your child can partake in safely. So just speak to them about that particular case, and I can assure you that there will be options for your kid.
Now, returning to the top again, we talked about eating junk food, less processed foods, and, less junk food and less processed foods as well. I just wonder, just a quick one, I just wonder if your child has probably indulged so much in this to the point of being obese, isn't it a bit dangerous to engage in certain physical activities?
They can engage in physical activities that their bodies can handle. So you don't start off running around as viciously as a child who is fit and healthy can. But they can walk around. Okay. They can walk around, they can play with their peers, and they can run to the extent that their bodies will allow them to.
Okay.
As they get more healthy, they'll be able to do more and shed off some of that weight as well.
Okay. So much to learn from you, Nneka.
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll take this break, and of course, Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, roses are red, violets are blue, but the world feels so much better with you and us in it. Welcome. It's been an exciting first hour of your non-stop premium family entertainment breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a Wednesday, and we have made it our responsibility to help you round up your week the right way by making sure that you have an awesome time with us on the show, and we really hope you have been.
It's been awesome. The first hour was actually a lot more packed than we expected. A lot of energy, really great smiles, and of course, great food cooking in the kitchen.
Yes. Again, we welcome you to the numero breakfast show on television, Wake Up Nigeria. We have exactly 42 minutes left, and time is of the essence. So we can't afford to waste any, okay?
Beautiful women, great personalities, amazing performances, great food, all around great vibes. My name is Titilayo Oyinbo.
And talking about great food, there's still some cooking going on in the kitchen right now. and Chef Blossom there.
I mean, great food, great vibes, great personality.
Thank you.
What a fantastic combination, don't you think?
Indeed.
So, Well, we'll just have to, we'll let you in on what's going on here in the kitchen later on, guys.
That's right. We'll keep you posted on that. My name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. Of course, we're looking forward to your contributions via social media. However, we need to take a break now, I believe.
Okay, all right then. Let's do that.
Okay, you know what? Let's first tell you what's going to happen this hour. Let's first tell you what's going to happen.
We have relationship still happening today. That's a must for every Wednesday. We have Sandra Odufaderi, marriage and relationship expert, joining us to give her thoughts on the daughter-in-law, mother-in-law dynamics.
And finally, we are joined by Nigerian adopted Russian social media sensation who is known for her love for everything Nigerian. Her online videos are second to none, and we can't wait to have a conversation with Juliana, a.k.a. Oyinbo Marlian. The person on the left is counting money.
There's actually a meeting happening.
No, I'm not interested in that meeting. I just noticed that person that seems to be counting money on the left.
Okay.
I love that song, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful
one
song.
of my favorite routines.
Okay, so
interesting. She's a really amazing dancer, and I think that's how she kind of came to life. She was always dancing Nigerian dances.
Anyway, we'll get to speak and get to know more of her later on.
We
but
can't
today
wait.
is International Widows Day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was today, June 23rd was officially ratified by the UN many years ago. I can't really remember the year exactly, but it was first observed in 2011.
Yes.
And the theme for this year is history and significance.
Yes, as a matter of fact, as women, because we have so much going on, many of us tend to I have enough trouble. Yes, I know you've lost your husband, but you should be able to go on with life. We forget that an average widow is going through a whole lot, going through a whole lot more. Yes, they are single parents, but then you still have to deal with the grief and everything else. It really is. But anyway, whatever the case may be, we'll go for some fact-finding now, and then we'll bring you the news and more after.
It's about time once again for another news update right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We're staying with the face-off between federal government and Twitter, where the back and forth between both parties is momentarily cooling off. This is because weeks after the president's tweet was taken down and the suspension of the microblogging site by the government, President Muhammadu Buhari has now approved the composition of the federal government team to engage with Twitter. This approval was announced in a statement in Abuja yesterday by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who is also expected to chair the team. The federal government's team also comprises the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Works and Housing, Minister of State for Labor and Employment, as well as other relevant government agencies. Following the indefinite suspension of its operations in Nigeria for activities that are capable of undermining Nigeria's corporate existence, Twitter wrote to President Buhari seeking to engage with the federal government over the suspension, with a view to charting a path forward. At the moment, there is no specific date fixed for the proposed meeting. And as the federal government and Twitter are finding a common ground over the ban of the microblogging site in Nigeria, the ECOWAS Court of Justice in Abuja has restrained Nigerian government from unlawfully imposing sanctions or harassing, intimidating, arresting or prosecuting Twitter and/or any other social media service providers, media houses, radio and television broadcast stations, the plaintiffs and other Nigerians who are Twitter users, pending the hearing and determination of the suit. The ruling followed a suit filed against the government by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and 176 concerned Nigerians, arguing that the unlawful suspension of Twitter in Nigeria, criminalization of Nigerians and other people using Twitter, have escalated repression of human rights and unlawfully restricted the rights of Nigerians and other people to freedom of expression and access to information. The court gave the order after hearing arguments from solicitor to SERAP, Femi Falano, and lawyer to the government, Maimuna Shiru. The substantive suit has been adjourned to 6th of July 2021. Meanwhile, The Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGE, says the media industry is not a political opponent or enemy of the federal government. They say the political elite's attacks on the media are habitually and not envisioned to win an argument on journalistic values designed to bully media organizations, reacting to what it described as draconian provisions in the two bills to amend the Nigerian Press Council (NPC) Act and the Nigerian Broadcast Commission (NBC) Act that are currently before the National Assembly, which the sponsors said were aimed at moderating the recklessness of the media. The Guild said that the bills are actually meant to criminalize journalism practice in the country. In a statement issued by the umbrella of all editors in Nigeria and signed by the President Mustafa Isa, General Secretary, on Tuesday, the Guild said the oxygen of democracy, the media, will be strangulated if the bills are passed in their present forms. The NGE said, quote, "While we are not opposed to an act that will promote media stakeholders-driven regulatory council, the many draconian provisions in Honorable Odebomi Olusegun's sponsored bills are actually aimed at criminalizing media practice in Nigeria. While the intention of the sponsor of the bills is suspicious, the bills negate all known features of media regulatory bodies in the world," the Guild stated.
All right, people, welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. And yes, with me in the kitchen is Chef Blossom. And this morning we are making chicken and chips. Oh, I know, right? My personal favorite breakfast. I love, love, love fried potatoes. There's just, anyways, let's go through the ingredients. They're right there on your screen, but let's run through them. Over to you, Blossom.
Okay, for the Irish potatoes, we have our potatoes. We have we add the spice to it, black pepper, and then a bit of salt. And then we have our sausage. Okay, it's not there on the screen, just for the side. Then we have our chicken. We had it marinated with paprika, spice, and then seasonings, cubes. What else? We had
garlic.
Black pepper,
I remember you mentioned
yes,
garlic
as well. So yeah, that is about. And then we have our vegetable for deep fry.
You didn't mention
vegetable oil. Then we had our flour to wrap up the chicken, and then we had our egg to wash the chicken before wrapping in the flour.
Oh, okay. I really wish we could show you the process for our chicken wrap, but we would explain it to you because it's a very easy and simple process. All right. So right now we have our Irish potatoes. You're fried up already, as you can see. I remember earlier on I mentioned that I was going to show you a hack on how to get your potatoes crispy. Yes. I love them crispy. And I just like when they're just, right there. They're just, you're not all, stuck together. But I'll tell you that in a bit. But let's see what's going on with our chicken. Explain the process for our chicken recipe. Like, how did we get here?
Okay, like I said, the chicken was marinated for 9 hours. I did it yesterday, and it was refrigerated. So we had it come out from the fridge. Yeah. And then we had it wrapped in egg. I whisked my egg. Okay. Then I had to mix some spice in the flour. But you don't want to go put extra spice and so much spice because you already have
done that with the chicken.
Yeah, with the chicken. Okay. So that's about how we ran.
So what we did was we dipped the chicken in
we dipped it in the egg first,
and then you wrapped it with the flour,
and then we fried.
Yes, and that's what's happening right there. I know sometimes you see some of these chickens in the at eateries. Or restaurants. No, not that. Restaurants. And then you're like, how did they achieve this? Well, this is exactly how they achieved it. Yeah. And the next time you decide to try it out, maybe this weekend you're having guests over, you could decide to try that. People ask you, where did you learn this? You can tell them that you learned it here on Wake Up Nigeria. And who taught you? Chef Blossom and MMPS. I'm just going to put myself right there, somewhere in the mix.
That's right.
All right. Anyways, so our chicken is ready. I noticed that you used a specific, is it Orobo chicken? Orobo is a softer one.
You don't want to use Orobo. It will get to take time before it gets fried.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we just go for the soft one
chicken,
so that
yeah.
it fries quicker and then
yes.
you don't have to deal with it, you know, not properly cooked
yeah.
all the way. All right, that's it happening here in the kitchen. For now, breakfast is going to be served in a bit. But guess what, people? We have Sandra Odufadiri on the couch with Mary.
Indeed, we do. As MM mentioned, Sandra Odufadiri is here. She's a marriage and relationship expert. And she's joining us today to give her thoughts on the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dynamics. Great to have you in the studio with us, Sandra.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Oh, absolutely. Our pleasure to have you here. So when we talk about mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dynamics, it's usually a very, very interesting ground to touch on. I don't want to say tricky, because some people have been able to pull it off effortlessly, while some struggle through it. Yeah. But for you, what is the ideal mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship?
Naturally, it's meant to be a very sweet relationship. It's meant to be a relationship that is going on smoothly. But funny enough, it's the other way around. And but the truth is that a man is built around the love of his mother. Studies has proved that a man that does not have that mother figure in his life has the tendency to be abusive when he finally gets married. Now, the first person he ever see cries was his mom. When he was giving birth to the mother cried. The first person he ever see having menstrual issue, woman issue, was his mom. Now he's attached to his mom, and he's so close to his mom. His mom sees him as everything. And you know, we women, we are naturally emotional towards our children. And then sometimes we even give him a pet name. And now a woman is coming from nowhere, younger, hot babe, coming to take her lover. That's where the problem starts from.
Now, for some parents, especially some mothers, it really is not a big deal. It's something they look forward to. They anticipate the time when their son can bring a woman home, especially for the benefits of procreation, so they can say, oh, I'm a grandmom now and everything. So most times you have cases where there's that friction. But really, what causes that friction? Because it's not in all cases.
A study was carried out. Out of 10 mother-in-laws, 8 said they can't stand
their
daughter-in-laws. And that's because their daughter-in-law comes and just take away the love. Now, sometimes you notice that when a woman or a man is getting married, some mother-in-laws, they just go cold. They are not letting go of that love. Now, she takes care of the man's food. She takes care of everything. Now, a woman is coming now to take her responsibility. And if it's not well managed, there's going to be issue. My advice to mother-in-laws is when your son is getting married, intentionally say to yourself, I'm going to love this girl. Because if you love her, the love you feel you are missing, that she's taking away, she's going to bring your son back to you indirectly. How do you love your daughter-in-law and there's no issue? Now, one, will you go and report your daughter to her husband when there are issues between you and your daughter? No, you wouldn't. Will you fight your daughter when you come to the house and maybe there's no food or she's sick, she's tired? No. Your daughter will want to be free with you and just express herself. You won't pick offense that she's rude. So if you accept your daughter-in-law as your own daughter, there won't be issue. And then I always advise young intending couples, don't live with your mother-in-law. Because you cannot be living in a husband's house and still want to get married to your husband. One of the best ways to live happily is to tell your husband, no matter how comfortable the house is, let's get our own apartment. So that the 1 week that you visit or she comes for a visit, you are able to manage yourself. We know that ladies have this tendency to jealous. Like, okay, probably she's not from even the same state. I am married to a Yoruba man and from Edo State. Now, she's cooking the Edo food. She has this fear that, is she going to take my grandchildren to Edo? Or take my grandchildren to Oyibo land when I'm Yoruba? She's not cooking a wedu in this house. She has forgotten that she is coming from a place where this is where I was brought up. And then she now need to intentionally love her to be able to get her to do what she wants to do. On the wedding day, most mother-in-laws are heartbroken. But if you know what is good for you and you want your son to live long, the best advice for you is to intentionally love your daughter-in-law. And for daughter-in-laws, if you have a mother-in-law that loves you, please reciprocate, respect her, and try as much as possible to take her in as your mother. Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issue has been far, far, far my great-grandma issues. But it's getting more intense now because most young ladies now work. They're financially okay. They can now take care of themselves. So they say to themselves, most of them that I've seen, oh, I can't take some stuff from a mother-in-law.
Okay, so Sandra, I find it very interesting because this is an angle to it.
Yeah.
And just as I mentioned earlier, there are people who have never had issues with their mothers-in-law.
Yeah.
And of course, flipping the coin as well, there are also daughters-in-law who give their mother-in-law a serious time where the mother-in-law might be the open one, but then the daughter-in-law is the one with problems. I've only seen mean mothers-in-laws. In fact, I dare say if there are 10 mean mothers-in-law in the world, I've seen 9 of them in movies. I haven't encountered any personally, not from people I know, not from people around me. Okay. So it's always been a struggle for me to understand the issue of mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dynamics, because I've always seen it as something that mothers are usually open, because many a times your children go out to the world, explore the world, so they probably haven't even stayed with you all their lives. So a man who is already staying with his mom till he gets married is already a mommy's boy, as we usually say.
Yeah.
So if you are now saying you want your wife to come stay with you, there has to be a particular agreement.
Yeah.
Which brings me to something you mentioned earlier, the fact that when you get married, yes, it said you cleave to your wife, but what if that man getting married cannot afford an apartment of his own at that point? Isn't there a way to also manage it?
I'm sorry to say this, he's not ready to be a man. Even if it's a one-room apartment. When I was going to get married, we didn't have this much. And I insisted that, I'm sorry, I don't want to have issues. It's not going to be easy living, you know. So we put funds together and we got our apartment. I insist that if you're going to get married, you should try as much as possible to have your own house. You can't be married in her husband's house. That's her husband's house. And she says the rules. She tells you what to eat. She tells you you can't even have free life. So if she really loves you, she can even help you put funds together and say, my daughter and my son, go and live your life.
So there are so many angles to this.
Yeah.
I wish we could touch on it, but unfortunately there isn't enough time to do so.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing we've been able to at least touch on it as lightly as we have.
Exactly.
I must say a very big thank you to you, Sandra.
Thank you
so much. All right, we'll take this break. Wake Up Nigeria continues shortly. Please stay with us. Joined for this by Nigerian adopted Russian social media sensation, who is known for a love for everything Nigerian.
Her online videos are second to none, with the dancing, the skits, the jokes, the energy, the really funny faces and hairstyles. The one and only Juliana Velova, a.k.a. the Oyinbo Marlian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Right. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So for you, you know, most folks on social media, when they start skits and everything, there's always something that informs it. It might just be for fun, or it might just be a case of, okay, let's see how we can make something out of this. What informed your decision to go into skits making?
Well, actually, it goes way back when I was still in Russia. I had Nigerian friends in Russia.
Okay.
So I started discovering Nigerian comedy through them because they always shared in their status and their story. Okay. And then I realized, like, wow, people actually just live like this, and they wake up every day shooting, creating skits, and I really loved it. It was really funny, so I was like, why don't I give it a try? Like, I also want to do that. I also love comedy. Okay. I love making videos, creating stuff. So for me, it was more out of, like, passion. I wasn't trying to make money out of it, but I was thinking it might as well follow as you go along.
So you hadn't even been to Nigeria at all?
Yeah, at all. Like, but first I saw it in Russia, yeah, and I fell in love with it. I was like, that's what I want to do. That's literally what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, every day.
So, how did you then, so you save money Got on a flight and came to Nigeria.
Yeah, literally it took me like 2.5 months from the first day I thought about coming to actually landing in Nigeria. That was like November 2019. I thought about it. Then February 2nd, 2020, that was my first time I came to Nigeria.
Wow.
So I thought I moved, actually.
You moved?
Yeah, but
did you intend to move, or it was a COVID move?
I intended to move.
Like, you got stuck here?
Yeah, no, it was before COVID. It was February 2020. But then something happened. I had to travel because the comedians that I met here, they wanted me to follow them to Dubai for some projects. So I had to follow them, but I couldn't re-enter Nigeria again. I had to go back to Russia to make my new visa, everything. And then I got stuck in Russia because COVID happened. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that you know, most of the should I say foreigners that we have in Nigeria either have a family member or a friend or something living here, and then they come in. So you just came in on your own.
I just came in on my own.
But you had some of your Nigerian friends to touch base with here.
No, actually,
you just came blindly.
Anybody. Yeah, I just came like that.
So what was it like for you? What was the experience getting here? Tell us about it.
Well, basically, the first time I was just in love with everything because the moment you even land, it smells different than Russia. Like, it smells different. There's a smell, you know, that Nigeria has. I'm like, wow, like, what's this smell, you know? Then I went out. It was 4 in the morning. It was so hot for me. I was like, really? So what is it going to be like when it's
4 in the morning? It's usually chilly at 4 in the morning.
But for me, it was really hot and like
compared to Russia.
Okay.
Compared to Russia, I was like, oh my God, like when the sun goes up, how is it going to be like? I'm so scared, you know, that it's going to burn or something, but it didn't burn.
Okay.
So then later, I was just fascinated with everything, with people fighting in the street. I was like, wow, got out. I was like, wow, pure water. Everything was so fascinating. I just loved it.
Oh my God, did you hear the thing she mentioned? Pure water. What else did you just mention?
Gota. I was like, what is this? What is this thing? Why is it there? Like, we don't have it in Russia.
Okay, but this is a lot of bravery. This is a brave move. And I have a feeling your family, when you left them in Russia, they must have had some issues with this.
I mean, yeah, I have a mom. At first, she was kind of against it, but I'm this kind of like daughter that I'm like, I was 23. I'm like, I'm 23. I can do whatever I want, so you can't stop me. So this is going to make me happy, so I'm just going to go. So I just kind of gave her the facts.
So what do you do now? Does it have any relation to what you probably studied at school? Because most times people usually have stuff linked to it that could influence it.
Well, actually, at first I would say no, but at the same time, I studied PR and advertising. So sometimes, like, speaking of content, it helps me kind of like know when to post or how to post, because we studied Instagram, we studied Facebook in university, so like we studied how to engage audiences and everything, so it actually is kind of correlated.
So it's actually helped you with even pushing your brand.
Yes.
But what have been the challenges so far for you?
In terms of like pushing the brand?
Yes.
Sometimes for me the biggest challenge for me is always getting like people together on set. If I have like a shoot and I need to use multiple people or multiple comedians, it's always difficult for me to like, it's location, it's people, getting everybody together, everything. It's always somebody is busy, somebody's sick, somebody's that. It's like relying on somebody is always very difficult. So.
True. I wanted to say, okay, so who was the first comedian you came in contact with?
It was Lord of Lamba. That was actually the person that even
Lord of Lamba.
Like, he's the one that gave me the invitation. The first time before I came, we became like, we started chatting, we became friends, and he was the one that was my inspiration at first. I loved his videos. He was just starting out back then. It was like almost 2 years ago. So I was just like, that's what I want to do.
So who are the guys that you haven't worked with that you really want to work with right now?
I want to work with Mr. Macaroni, with Brother Shaggy. And La Sisi. Those are my top 3. I love
La Sisi, they are.
So if, for example, now you couldn't do this anymore, what are you likely to be doing?
I love doing music videos. I love photography as well. So those, I would try to do those. I mean, I already do music videos, but photography I don't really do. And then, I don't know, like, I love traveling too, but I cannot travel.
So my next question will be about your dance steps. Now, the average Oyinbo doesn't get the Nigerian dance steps. This is facts, right? But you seem to have mastered all these steps. Did you get a teacher? When did this start for you?
Because me, you know, back in Russia, that's part of the reason why I even fell in love with Nigeria, because my friends in Russia, Nigerian friends, they showed me clubs that we have in Russia that are run by Nigerians, the Nigerian clubs.
Wow.
So the first time I went, I'm like, wow, it's so different. Like, it's so lit, you know? The steps, everything, like everybody dancing. It's entirely different from what we had in Russia.
Okay.
So I just started coming, like, I started going almost every day and, like, trying to dance like that.
And you picked it up naturally, or it was something you had to struggle through?
So you know we're going to tell you to dance, right? You know you have to dance for us right now. You have to show us some of those steps. I hope we have a song or two that we could play for her. But, okay. Yeah, this is a good one.
That's what you really mastered. Which other ones have you mastered?
Like this ballet.
Wow.
Okay, let's have you do this one.
Hey! That's your camera right there. You know what? It's all about the steps.
That's it.
That's it.
Nice.
Honestly.
Okay, you know what? Let's take a look at one of us kids, so you can really get a grip of what she is about, and then of course it'll be time to have breakfast.
Take it
to get Oyinbo Marlian, right?
The fear of coronavirus. All right, welcome to the kitchen, Oyinbo Marlian. So quickly, this is Chef Blossom, and she's made for you chicken and chips with sausages and ketchup. So please have a taste and let us know what you think.
So that's what it looks like, the chicken, chips, sausage, and
so if you're wondering what she did with the chicken, that was the soft chicken, well marinated and dipped in eggs and wrapped in flour, and then we fried it. Deep fried.
Sabiii how to eat pretty.
Sorry?
You said she knows Sabiii how to eat pretty.
Oh, please. Eat anyhow.
It's fine.
We Nigerians don't know how to eat pretty anyway, so.
Half the time,
Like it? Love it?
See? Okay, so with that, it's a wrap. You didn't give her a grade, 1 to 10.
10.
Oh, she obviously loves chicken.
Definitely, she's talked about it.
Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Thank you to our chef. Thanks to all our guests. Thanks to all our contributors. Titi, hi.
Hey, who runs the world?
Girls, and we can't wait to run this food as well. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.